knowledge and smiles, another day of wine and roses. Or, in your case, beer and pizza.
Two-Face, quite easily the most terrifying-looking Batman villain. But being two-faced isn't always terrible. The Roman god Janus was two-faced, in the same way that Two-Face was two-faced. Yep. Two faces, one head. Never change, long-dead ancient Romans. Never change.
Welcome to Nanotechnology in Chemical Engineering.
Janus was the two-faced god of many things. One face looked forward, and the other face looked backwards. What does this have to do with nanotechnology? Well, the first real-life use of a Janus particle was in a patent filed by Xerox in 1978, where they were to be used for an ultra-flat display. While these particles weren't nano-sized, they were still two-faced in spirit. They made ball-like particles with a positive charge on one half and a negative charge on the other. When an electric current was applied, the balls would orient in the direction of the current. They proposed adding ink to each half of the ball so that, when the current was applied, a particular color would face a display. And while this technology didn't end up working out, it kinda gets you thinking, how do they even make them? Well, there's three general methods: masking, self-assembly, and phase separation. In masking, the nanoparticle is partly protected by the mask. No, not that kind of mask, one that attracts the whole molecule. Then, the whole thing is exposed to a chemical, and the unprotected side of the nanomolecule gains a new property. Finally, the mask is removed using a solution that doesn't damage the new nanoparticle. Using this idea, a group of researchers made an octopus-type Janus nanoparticle. Yep, it looks just as cool as it sounds. This particle has two different surface properties and is designed to deliver cancer medicine. The particles have been modified to stick to liver cancer cells, and the spikes act as antennas to track the radiation used to crack open the nanoparticles and release the drug. Self-assembly uses the natural attractive properties of some molecules. One example of this is the triblock copolymer, that is, a polymer with three distinct segments. On the outsides, you have the properties you want your Janus particle to have, and in the middle, something that allows the molecules to clump together. When you mix a whole batch of these polymers together, you get alternating sheets of the properties with nano-sized clumps between the sheets. Then, the whole thing is dissolved in a special solution, and with a little bit of processing, you get Janus nanoparticles. This self-assembly was used to make snowman-type nanoparticles that go through another sub-assembly step to form nanoworms. These worms can also then be used as propellers on micromotors, kind of like a submarine. The last common method is phase separation. This is the most practical way of making Janus nanoparticles, and it relies on two different molecules that do not mix well together. An example of this is squeezing out two different polymer precursors at the exact same time to form a nanodroplet. The precursors separate into their own halves as they form their polymer, but they're still together as a droplet. If you change the speed that each precursor is squeezed out at, you can change the final ratio of the polymer in the droplet, which gives you more control over the final properties. Since Xerox's patent in 1978, these molecules have come a long way and loads of new uses for them have been found. From making hydrogen fuel to medical imaging, Janus nanoparticles make being two-faced a great thing.